You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell him that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You can double, you can press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
Impressive. I mean, just to see him out there competing again, he looked like his old self. Didn't miss a beat, and he's only going to get better from here. But for that to be his first game, I felt him on both ends of the floor, his poise, his tenacity. He and Herb are out there wrecking havoc to me with DeAndre Jordan at the rim. You know, they're turned loose. You know, it's infectious. You know, Saddiq's trying to now. Z's out there trying to make plays. So they have raised the bar, you know. Dejounte was fantastic tonight. He helped us close, made a big shot. Kept us in our stuff there late. Big clutch win for our group. Big clutch win. Learning how to close together, really important. But I thought he was fantastic. Really proud of him and just happy for him to, you know, to embrace this moment, especially to be back and get a win. That's just icing on the cake.
What about the job Bryce did in the second half? He came in and really kind of turned things.
He was massive for us. And he's been doing this all year. You know, I was working in first half trying to get him in. It just didn't work out. He stayed ready. And that's what we've said. That was our message this morning to the group. We have a lot of depth now, talent. Everybody on the roster has shown me that they're capable of impacting winning. And now I've got a tough call. And Bryce is making it tough on me. And that was the message this morning. And he was massive to close, you know, that game. So big shots, big defense. The putback was massive, the transition bucket, and then you add the defense to it. He was great.
You mentioned it, but you guys had to execute there down the stretch to put it away. What did you kind of see that was key in that, and how much does having Dejounte back help in those moments?
Certainly helps in those moments. I think we all felt more poised. Although we had been making strides anyway, I think now you add another layer to that. Saddiq, again, big buckets, you know, big time clutch buckets. Z found his way to the rim, you know, free throws. The defense could have been better. We'll watch it together and see where we can have been better, because I think there's certainly stuff to learn from that. We were not perfect in our execution, but we did enough down the stretch. We got good shots. There's probably 2 turnovers we had that we got to clean those up. But that was coming out of their, you know, they were pressing and trapping us. So, but I thought overall we had great poise and we found a way to close. But we don't get to that moment if the bench does not step up. We had a stretch there where it was the entire bench playing together, and they were the one making the run. You know, Fears was making big plays for us. Poole was out there. DQ was massive for us. I think Quinn had a great stretch where we were, you know, slumping a little bit, and we couldn't find our way offensively. DQ was massive in that run. Carlo as well. So we went with that bench lineup, and I thought they, you know, really turned the game. And that allowed the starters or the first group to come back and close that. But I want to give them a lot of credit for tonight as well.
Yeah, you've obviously praised DeAndre for what he's done, you know, in these past 2 games since you moved him into the starting lineup. What went into the decision to leave him in and then move DQ to the bench?
Yeah, you know, there's a number of ways we can go, and it's only going to get more complicated with Murphy and Missy coming back. But I think it's a great, it's a move for our defense, to anchor the defense. I think DeAndre Jordan is a great example for Queen, to watch and emulate and go out and produce on that end of the floor, just like, DeAndre's doing for us. So the goal right now is to win. And, DeAndre is moving that needle for us. Queen is moving that needle for us. Queen, we don't win this game without Queen tonight. So I can't tell you what we're going to do next game. We've got to figure that out together. Is this a 1-game thing, 5-game thing? I don't know. I'm just taking it 1 game at a time with the focus being on winning, each possession. So, and then obviously the other piece of this whole thing is Dejounte coming back. I love where Fears is at. I mean, I'm clearly watching Fears in this whole development of this team. He's a massive part of our future and our present as well. He was fantastic tonight. And I didn't want to bring Dejounte into the mix, with him there off the bench. I wanted to keep him there. So I felt like Dejounte was the right move to start. That was not an easy decision because there was a group that had some chemistry together as well. But my goal is to get Dejounte in the starting lineup. And then obviously somebody had to, bump out of there. So, but I like the balance of the two groups right now. But as I said, it's going to get more complicated as Murphy and Missy come back.
With Murray, did you manage his minutes so that he would be available to help close, or when you got to that point,
yes,
did you not?
I wanted to keep him out there. Yes, I think we had a good stretch there. He was rolling. He wanted to stay in. It's our job to save them from themselves. He would have gone the whole way, to be honest. But we got to be careful. First game back, we got to trust that, and he's got to trust that too. And he did. We went. I think we subbed. I believe DJ, went in for him. I think DeAndre went in for him at that moment. But, yeah, that was to manage his minutes.
Coach, what was your message to Dejounte before, after the game?
Before, go compete. Enjoy it. I'm proud of you. Don't overthink it, and I'm there with you. I'm there with you, supporting you, run the team. I'll help you along the way. We'll communicate. But more than anything, go compete, have some fun. After, his teammates, the biggest thing is his teammates just shouted him out. It's a massive celebration in there for him. The journey he's been on, the year he's had to come back, and they love him, and he's pushing this team. So we all celebrated him. That was the biggest thing. Good. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the fam for all things Pelicans. Y'all are now tuned in to the Pelican post-game report. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Please do me a service by hitting the like button, the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Much love to the flock and the fam on this PPR Final. Pelicans knock off the Warriors and the referees 113-109. Pels on the 2-game winning streak. They are now 17-42, 11-21 at home. Dejounte Murray returns after over a year being out on injury, and he was a serious contributor for the Pelicans tonight. You heard Coach Borrego talk about an uplift of Dejounte Murray here, and this is one of the things we talked about here on PPR Fam when we said, if anything, the Pels have a very crystallized view. There's not anything about the lottery. All the Pelicans have is the idea to try to accomplish something that seems impossible, which is to try to get as close as they can, win as many games as they can, to shrink that gap between getting in the play-in. And the crazy part about it is we've seen so much up and down topsy-turvy basketball, but the Pelicans are starting to they're relying on their veterans. We getting all our guys back. Dejounte return. Of course, we know Herb is still, not Herb, but Trey Murphy and Eves are still out. Peavy, those guys are still out with injuries. But the Pelicans went 10 deep tonight, man. 10 deep tonight. And the really crazy part about the game is the bench scoring. The Pelicans outscored the Golden State Warriors. And of course, Golden State without Steph, without Porzingis, without Al Horford, they defeated them off the bench 45-26. 45-26 in bench points. The Pels bench outdo Golden State. And that is the balance that we thought about when you get our expensive players. We see Jordan Poole out there. We see Dejounte Murray. We see DeAndre Jordan. Our vets getting in there and kind of stabilizing stuff. We're seeing Bryce McGowan's maturation. Zion Williamson doing what he can do, Herb's defense. And we've seen Saddiq Bey is just on another level right now. So we've seen a lot of positive stuff from the Pelicans. And they can just keep feeding off this and keep building up. We got a Utah Jazz team coming up, back-to-back matchups. They're just ahead of us in terms of wins and losses, fam. The Pelicans keep climbing, man. That's all we can even focus on. So first and foremost, big ups to you guys as we get into this broadcast, man, and we'll go over the statistics. But 5 reasons why, the Pelicans, in my estimation, defeated the Warriors tonight. You've seen what Zion did in that final quarter. He scored 10 of them 26 points in the final period. He had the first 3-pointer of the season. How about that? His first 3 of doing what he did. Dejounte Murray return was really huge. Being out over a year, I think it was like 13 months or so. He played in 25 minutes, had a series of clutch shots that kind of helped him down, in the midst of it. And fam, even though we know that Dejounte needs to work his way back into this thing, man, he had a series of really big shots to help the Pelicans. His IQ, you can see a little rusty here, but his floor generalship is something that we can rely on. And for Borrego to install him after missing 13 months directly into the starting lineup, we had conversations here on PPR how they would do that. A lot of people thought they would bring Murray off the bench. I kind of felt that would kind of look suspect, being that we'll have Murray and Dejounte Murray and Jordan Poole coming off the bench. But man, it's really interesting, isn't it, fam, to see Dejounte Murray, $30 million, Jordan Poole, these guys contributing. This is the original thought process that we had in our minds, that we wanted to see a team healthy with all of these fantastic players playing together. Could we do something special here? Yeah, I know it's a long way, man. It's a huge gap between this side to get to the other side, but could we do something special leading into the rest of the season? We had a clutch finish by Saddiq Bey, 18 points, highlighted by that critical 1 reverse layup just under 2 minutes that helped push out a 6-point cushion. A lot of funny style stuff was happening with the referees that we were watching. They weren't calling it as, during the game, especially toward the back end, very suspect calls. But the Pelicans did not break apart. They stayed locked in, and they finished like we expect them to. Of course, we talk about the fact that Golden State was depleted, missing Steph, missing Porzingis, Al Horford, and you got to take advantage of that. Take advantage of teams when their stars are missing. Nobody's going to feel bad for us with all our guys missing. We don't feel bad for Golden State with their guys missing. We're going to go in there and get that dub. And, of course, we benefited hugely from the Warriors kind of shooting how they did tonight, 3-point wise, 24.4% from downtown. But listen, the reality is Golden State Warriors, despite missing those players, they were extremely scrappy. They were getting away with a lot of handsy stuff, but man, high energy effort from several of those bench players that came in and kind of kept Golden State active in the game until the Pelicans say enough is enough. Let's put the kibosh down on these people and mash on their ass and move on forward. Anyway, let's get right into it. These team statistics tonight, fam. Y'all feel free to hit the like button. Shout out to the flock. And first and foremost, thank all of you guys for the birthday salutations. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, birthday was on the 23rd, so I appreciate y'all. I really do, man. Thank y'all, man, for those wishes. All right, anyway, let's get right back into it. The Pelicans tonight, man, did some really spectacular things, man. 43 of 108 was the Pelicans field goal amounts tonight. 43% they shot from the field. Golden State was 40 of 97 for 41%. The Pelicans 10 of 40 from 3-point range. I was kind of in the game, fam. I was like, man, damn. Let's use a little IQ here. That ball is not falling. Let's kind of, stop shooting and kind of attack. They kind of resynced after a while. But boy, it was a little nervous at first, but they were 10 of 40 from downtown for 25%. Golden State was 11 of 45 for 24%. Pelicans finished 17 of 23 from the foul line for 74%. 18 of 23 by G State for 78%. The Pelicans had 53 rebounds tonight. 21 of them were offensive. Zion grabbed like 5 or 6 offensive boards tonight. 59 by Golden State, just hustling it up. They were just moving and just hustling. So those are really high rebound totals. The assist game went to Golden State 26-20. The Pelicans had double-digit steals, 12-8. They outstole the Warriors. 12-8. They outstole them. They outblocked them 9-6, and of course they had 17 turnovers, which is a lot. They gave up 18 points. Golden State had 21 turnovers. The Pelicans forced them into, and took 18 points off of them. The points in the paint went to the Pelicans, 20-4 in points in the paint. That was big. In points in the paint, 64-58 points in the paint. The fast break game was 20-4. And the bench scoring was 45-26. If anything was a team stat of the night, that was the huge stat right there. The bench scoring the Pelicans produced 45-26. Big advantage right there. As we have a full bench, and Coach Borrego said it'll be difficult kind of filling out. Once Trey Murphy gets back, how does that lineup then shift and change? It'll be fun figuring this stuff out, but I'd rather have problems like that than the problems we had before, right? Anyway, let's look at the individual statistics by our Pelicans. The person that led tonight was Zion Williamson. In 33 minutes, Zion finished with 26 points. He was 11 of 21. He hit his first three-pointer of the season. We've been talking about Zion needing to take, mid-range shot. Zion pulled up with a 3 tonight and hit it. How about that? I know he was feeling pretty good about that. But the foul line, 3 for 5 there. He grabbed 6 rebounds. 5 of those six rebounds were offensive boards by Zion Williamson. 18 from Saddiq Bey in 31 minutes, 6 of 13 from the field, 5 of 5 from the foul line, hit 1 3. He had 6 rebounds, an assist, but had 4 turnovers in the game. But Saddiq Bey was big, as usual, for the team making things happen. Dejounte Murray in the starting capacity, 25 minutes tonight from Dejounte Murray. 13 points. He was 5 of 11 from the field, 1 3-pointer, perfect from the foul line. You can see he has some rust going on. He turned the ball over 5 times. That's not his game. He don't usually do that, but it'll take a handful of games for him to really round into form. Maybe, you're looking at maybe 5 to 10 games before you start really seeing Dejounte Murray kind of gather that rhythm again, being out so long. So he had 5 turnovers tonight, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, but very positive performance by him. Herb in 31 minutes finished with 5 points. Herb didn't shoot the ball well from the field, hit 1 3-pointer, but Herb was in there, playing some defense, grabbing some rebounds. He had 5 steals tonight, and he also did pick up 4 personal fouls. A couple of those were suspect, but Herb's a G, just kept his head in the game. DeAndre Jordan in 22 minutes finished with 6 points and 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a couple of blocks. He was plus 11 and led them in that effort in terms of the plus minus. DeAndre Jordan. So our experienced veterans have seen a lot of basketball, whether it's DeAndre Jordan or Dejounte Murray or guys like Poole off the bench, who had 23 minutes, had 12 points he threw in. He hit 3 3-pointers for Jordan Poole, and he had 6 rebounds for 3 assists, plus 3 for Poole in 23 minutes, led the bench guys in effort. 12 that's 12 for him. 10 for Carlo Mekovic in 18 minutes. Carlo was in there running around. He had 3 blocks, had 10 points, hit a 3-pointer as well, snatched 8 boards, had a steal and assist, and Carlo was just out there doing his thing. He had 4 offensive boards as well as 4 defensive boards. Carlo Mekovic threw in his effort to help the Pelicans. Derek Queen in 18 minutes had 8 points, 4 of 13 from the field. He was 0 for 3 from downtown, but did snatch 7 rebounds, dished out a couple of assists, and was plus 8 in his effort tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Bryce McGowan's got an opportunity to get in the game. We did see him last game, but he got in the game, had 18 minutes, got in there, and his defense showed up. He even threw in 7 points to go along with it. He was 3 of 5 from the field, hit a 3-pointer, had 4 rebounds. He had a steal and a block, +6 for Bryce McGowan's, man. And, of course, our rookie Jeremiah Fears played 21 minutes. He gave him 8 points, hit a 3-pointer. He had 3 rebounds, 5 dishes tonight for him, and a steal, +5 from the young fella, Jeremiah Fears. So a lot of positive stuff we've seen tonight for our Pelicans as they, kind of took down Golden State team that was ailing with issues. And, of course, that was the final matchup of the season between the Pelicans and Golden State. I think the Pelicans snapped like a 5 or 6, I think it was 6-game losing streak to the Golden State Warriors, which was positive. We also end the regular season series with this team. They do win the season 2-1, but at least, we getting a win. And that's all you can do if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, man. Continue to try to win. On the opposite side of the coin for the Golden State Warriors, 28 by De'Anthony Melton. He had 9 free throws. He shot 3 3-pointers there. He finished with 28 points, 24 from Moody for them, 15 from Santos. In the matchup, Draymond Green finished with 11 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He was +8 and 16 off the bench from Podziemski, who had 7 of 18. He had a 3-pointer and also snatched 10 defensive rebounds for Podziemski. How about Podziemski? He finished with 15 boards, 16 points, 15 boards from Podziemski, and he was just timing it, running to it. And in Golden State was real scrappy until the Pelicans said enough is enough and just took it to the next level that they couldn't follow. And now that's what you're supposed to do when you're better than your adversaries. So there it is. All right, let's kind of switch gears, family, go into the preview right here as we get ready. Now, the next matchup we will see will be against the Utah Jazz. The Pelicans are 17-42. They're going to the Jazz for not back-to-back games. We'll play them on Thursday, and then we'll play them again on Friday. So, not Friday, Saturday. We got them on Thursday. Then we got a Saturday matchup in Utah. So we just have to take care of business against this team. This team, a lot of their players are hurt, and the Pelicans have won 5 straight games against this Utah team. Our road streak is won. We've beat them at home 4 times in a row. We are currently on a 5-game winning streak on the Utah Jazz, and it's always difficult to go into Utah, into that climate, go into that stadium and beat the Jazz. Depending on what you're getting. We've done well over the last 5 games or so against this team. We got a full stable of people. They are hurting. And front, I ain't gonna tell you no joke. They made some trades. A lot of people thought they were trying to compete and build something, and it just didn't work. Like they missing a lot of good players. Vince Williams Jr. had a horrible knee issue. He's done for the year. Nurkic is done for the year with the nose. Jaren Jackson blew out his knee. He done all the way until October sometimes. Walker Kessler, he's done with a shoulder issue. So some of their bigger names, they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr., Walt Kessler, Nurkic, those guys, Vince Williams are done. They're not going to be in the game. Now, Keontae George is a guy that's kind of rehabbing from an ankle issue. He's slotted to return for the first game against the Utah Jazz. And like I said, this is the first matchup. We haven't played them all season long. This is the very first time we'll play this team. Then we'll play them, like I said, again on Saturday. So it's going to be interesting watching how this goes for the Pelicans. And we really should take advantage of this Utah Jazz team and beat them. Like Keontae George is a good young point guard. The Pelicans, in terms of Eves and Trey Murphy, are getting close to coming back. They mentioned the estimated return time at February the 26th. We'll see how that works. That's milk for this game. We also realized what Coach Borrego was saying, Trey Murphy coming back to the starting lineup. Man, it's going to be interesting to see how the Pelicans shift that lineup to accommodate Trey Murphy returning. Somebody got to hit the bench, right? And we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, the Pelicans are 10 deep, man. We 10 deep. We got a team. We got a squad, man. And, I'm feeling pretty good about this thing, to be honest with you. Lauri Markkanen is the guy you have to prepare for if you're the Pelicans, man. He's their top guy and is playing really well, averaging 27 points a contest for him. He's one of their top players. And, of course, everything goes through him. There's the Pelicans, according to the matchup indicator family, are almost 61% picking the Pelicans to stump down on the Utah Jazz with less than 40%. So that's one of the matchup indicators, or indicating, not to mention the fact that the Utah Jazz is 18 and 40. The Pelicans are 17 and 42. So I think they're ahead of us by 2.5 games. And they're currently on a 3-game slide themselves. They're 3-7 over the last 10 contests. The Pelicans are 5-5 over the last 10. Like I said, we're on a 2-game winning streak, and we got to get as many wins as we possibly can. The crazy part about it is, this energy that they're playing with, it's like a good feel-good story. Like DeAndre Jordan's playing. It's a real family-centered energy, like these guys, like, and it's helping the winning. Like they celebrated Dejounte Murray returning from his injury. They were lifting him up, giving him a lot of praise, and it's a tight locker room. And let's see if this pressure, the fire of attempting to get to the plan, could help galvanize this team. And we talked about, you heard Dejounte Murray in the press clippings prior to this game, how he felt about trying to help this team win contest, because that's what it comes down to. They're not going to say they're going to tank out. There's no benefit to that. They have to match up and galvanize and play to get there. Not mathematically eliminated. They're a second worst team in the Western Conference, but they have a bunch of games remaining, and all you can't worry about that. All you have to do is put win after win and after win and after win. So right now, fam, we got 2 straight. Can they add to it? And they got 2 games against Utah. They should be able to handle some business against this team as loaded as we are. And whether we get Trey back, this matchup against Utah on Thursday or Saturday, it should be Pelicans on their way to like 2 straight. I ain't gonna jinx it or nothing, because we'll see how it works, because we've talked this talk before. But man, I'm intrigued by this whole scenario of, if with all the guys coming back, can he put wins together, enough wins to make a run at this thing, man? It's going to be interesting. But nonetheless, you can look on screen to see the Utah Jazz, how they're set up. One of the top teams in the NBA in terms of points per game, ranked 7th. They're the worst team in terms of the points, opposition points against them. And that will continue with all these guys missing. You can see they're 15th in the NBA in field goal percentage. In terms of 3-pointers made, they're listed as 19th. The Pelicans are 28th in 3-pointers. Maybe, hopefully we can get that back. Got Jordan Poole playing steadily. Trey Murphy will return, so maybe we can get that up a little bit. You look at them in terms of the free throw attempts, they're listed as 7th in the NBA, and the percentage is 8th. So they get to the foul line, and they do convert a lot of the free throws. The rebounding, they're middle of the pack with 44. The Pelicans are 16th there. The assist game, they average 30 assists per contest. That's 2nd in the NBA. The Pelicans at 25 currently. That's 24th. You see the turnovers, they're one of the worst in the game in that. The Pelicans improving there and doing better. You can see the steals right there for the Pelicans, a top 10 versus what Utah got going on. And like I said, a lot of these stats might be a little skewed because the Pelicans' talent is arriving. And like I said, the team is getting healthy at the right time, and it's going to be fun seeing what they can do, as opposed to the regular boring junk that we would see the Pelicans fall through the flow comically. Maybe not so much now. But anyway, here's a look at the depth chart for the Utah Jazz. Keontae George is supposed to come back for this game, fam, to be honest, which he's listed to return on this day. On Thursday against the Pelicans. You can see what he's scoring for the 25-26 season. The little Baylor guard. The dude's awesome. 24.6.5 assists on 46% shooting from the field. Very talented player. They're supposed to get him back on that day, and perhaps him and Lauri Markkanen will try to kind of keep the Utah Jazz in this game. You can see his tallies, 27-7 on 48% shooting for Lauri Markkanen in the Jazz. And, of course, you see a few other people. Ace Bailey. Remember him so long ago, fam. Ace Bailey was linked to the Pelicans. All that stuff, they talking about this, that, and third. We'll see Ace Bailey for the first time this year. 12 points a contest with 4 boards. Not very impressive, but he's still learning the game. Cody Williams is supposed to be the off guard from Colorado, 6 points per contest on 47% shooting from the field. And Flipowski, the center, it gives him 10 and 7 a game from the position. So like I said, there's a few other players there. Isaiah Collier and these other guys, Sensabaugh, are kind of high energy players, but I don't think they don't have enough firepower to deal with the Pelicans in any one of these games. The Pelicans, in my estimation, should win both these games. Like I said, I ain't gonna jinx it, but I'm just saying in terms of our talent, we'll get Trey back in these games, and we should see something promising. So the keys to victory. Let's get right to Q's keys of victory for the Pelicans against the Jazz. Number one, they got to contain Lauri Markkanen. Right? I know we talked about Keontae George. He'll be back in there as well. But as of right now, Lauri Markkanen is the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, for Utah. He's the primary threat. You know, he recently had 29 points against Houston. We have to prioritize him in the defensive packages. In our schemes, we have to be able to prioritize Lauri Markkanen and slow him down, force the ball out of his hands. And if Keontae George is there, we have to kind of keep an eye on him as well. So got to win the backcourt battle. That's the next key. With Dejounte Murray coming back, Jordan Poole off the bench, these guys got to find a rhythm. We had Herb and Saddiq Bey, all these other guys. We're going to really have to step up and level up our defense, so to speak. The Pelicans must outplay Utah's young guards. You know, Isaiah Collier is another guy who had a big night recently, 25 points with 11 assists. So with Dejounte Murray back and Jordan Poole, our veterans, man, we got to figure a way to kind of keep this thing heading in the right direction, to slow down whatever their backcourt is going to do. Got to exploit Utah's defensive lapses. We know they struggle with that. They allow so many points per game, 126 points a game on average, which is the worst in the league. And we have to capitalize off that. We have to capitalize on their poor defensive lapses and take it to them any way that we can. We got to limit the second chance points. The Pelicans, we took care of business against the Warriors tonight. We outperformed them from a bench perspective, 45-26. But if any winning is sustainable insofar as the Pelicans going forward for the rest of the year, family, it has to happen with not just our starting five. We have to be able to systematically formulate a bench. Like we've been seeing some really good play from guys off the bench, like as of recent Jordan Poole, Bryce McGowan's. We've seen young Fears do something positive. We've seen Karlo Mekovic not only score but also rebound, shot block, effort type situation. We've seen guys playing hard coming off the bench. We not just defensively, but we're going to also need them offensively to keep doing that. And that way it kind of balances everything off. We don't wear out our starting guys and don't over rely on them. So if our bench can remain steady like they were tonight, it'll keep us in these games and give us an opportunity to kind of compound some wins as we lead. And of course, the fifth and final key is we have to force turnovers. Utah is prone to this. They have a lot of these high turnover games. And we have to take care of business because they gave up 34 points off of turnovers to the Rockets. So the Pelicans got to use their length and disrupt it. We got to pay those passing lanes because Utah will get a ball up. That's just how they are right now. They're not a very disciplined team that respect the ball. That's why they kind of topsy-turvy outside of the injuries that they've been having. But man, listen, this is one of these games where the Pelicans have been giving, I ain't gonna say a weak schedule, but when you look at the matchup against the Utah Jazz and what the Pelicans have in terms of player and personnel and how the health is, the Jazz are not very good, right? They're not a very good team, and this is, as the Pelican faithful, these are the teams you are supposed to beat. You have to take care of business on Thursday. You got to knock off Utah on Thursday, then come back and do the same thing on Saturday. This is a mean road trip that we're going to be off. Of course, we have to deal with Utah in Utah. They're difficult to play there. I'm not going to discount that. But with talent and the proper mind frame and a veteran-led minded team, being calm and poised, we should be able to get wins in Utah. Then, of course, after the Utah, this is that nasty, mean road trip that we talked about, fam, where they have 6 games on the road, starting with 2 against Utah. Then they travel to the next day. I think it's a back-to-back day. Yeah, they the second Utah matchup, February the 28th. Then the following day, they have a matchup to at the Clippers. So it's going to see, and that's another positive thing, because this is a tough road stretch, because they have 2 back-to-backs. And see, the NBA is real slick with the Pelicans. That's why I feel pretty good about our chances in some of these games, because of the fact that the Pelicans are loaded now. We got a lot of talent. Our team is 10 deep. We can go a little further than that. We get Trey back. We get Eves back. So we'll have some really good players there to kind of help fortify this thing. And that's what we're going to need when you have a tough road trip like this. So Utah on February the 26th, Utah again on Saturday, February the 28th. And then the next day they travel to LA to take on the Lakers on that'll be a 8 p.m. game that they're going against, to the Clippers. They have the Clippers on March the 1st. And then Tuesday, March the 3rd, they stay there and they'll take on the Lakers. And then they travel Thursday, March the 5th to Sacramento to take on the lowly Kings. And then the next day they go to Phoenix to take on the Jazz. So we got 2 back-to-back games, right? In that 6-game away trip. So it's a bit of a grind, but with a deep team that's veteran-led, if we can stay focused and get a great majority of these games and build and just take it one step at a time, one game at a time, and keep adding to it, that'll really kind of do something positive when we start getting into more serious games, when we get into the rest of the March schedule for our Pelican squad. So we got a lot to do, man, but still in all, man, it's a positive win tonight by our Pelicans. They're currently on a 2-game winning streak. All we can do is just compound wins and keep winning and see where the chips may fall at the end of the year. So with that being said, fam, listen, that's all I got for y'all, man. Once again, shout out to the fam. Y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Shout out to you guys. Much love. Young Killuminati, Slim South, much love, fam. Appreciate y'all. As always, Willie Green says the Jazz last win against us, it was in 2023. Thank you, Willie Green. Appreciate you. We need to sweep the Jazz and take care of business in LA. You absolutely right. The Jazz is one of those games where you got to stand on business. You got to take care of business. Shout out to the Nola Chop podcast, my boy Kai the Great. Big ups to you as well. Good to see you. All right. Much love to everybody, man. Brother Wallace, Stephanie, much love to the queens out there. Young City 9, what's up, fam? Jordan, shout out to you. Jake Harv, what's up, fam? Brother Jerry, the OG. Lavelle, what's up, bro? Daniel, shout out to all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for spending time in PPR tonight. So that's what we got, fam. Listen, I'll return on Thursday. We'll do PPR. Now, listen, fam, I'm thinking we will, and I ain't make my prediction about this game on Thursday, but I say the Pelicans will beat the Utah Jazz. We will beat the Utah Jazz. Now, they estimate Trey Murphy returning from his shoulder issue for that Jazz game. But even if he doesn't come back for the game, Pelicans in good shape because of the depth. But he'll most certainly be back by February the 28th if he's not by the 26th. Regardless or not, they have everything it takes. I know it's going to take a little bit for them to formulate the chemistry with Dejounte coming back. You're seeing Poole starting to play better because you're giving them consistent minutes. You see that it did not mess up Poole. Poole did not mess up Fears. And you see even Bryce McGowan, he didn't play a lot of minutes the previous game, but he was called upon. And like Borrego said, just stay ready because you never know when we're going to need you. Like DeAndre Jordan, what he did the other night, snatching 15 rebounds. And, of course, coming into this game, playing defense, getting shot blocks. Man, we're going to need all our guys to lift this. This is a Herculean feat, man. And if the Pelicans could pull this off, man, and do this, man, to me, I think that will be just – this will be something very phenomenal. It'll show a lot of heart and guts if they can put this stuff together, man. But Utah, 2 matchups against Utah, I would have to give that to the Pelicans. I think they beat them on Thursday. It'll be more difficult on Saturday, but, man, I think they get those 2 Utah matches and would be approaching that next matchup against the Clippers 4 wins in a row. So it's not going to be easy against LA either, but nonetheless, a lot of these teams we are playing are ahead of us in that race. So you gotta you've been lining up with a lot of these teams. If you can take care of business, it can kind of change things for you. Just saying. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna get on up out of here. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, fam, and I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell him that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.